Jimmy Fallon becomes Jungkook's main reason for going to America? Jin reveals shocking fact. A statement from Jin of BTS sparked a new uproar among global fans. Jungkook went to the United States not for music promotion or industry collaboration, but for one name, Jimmy Fallon. This confession, made by Jin in a limited internal interview, shocked many and raised serious questions regarding the personal and professional direction of BTS's Golden Magne. Why would an idol of Jungkook's stature, whose every move is calculated by management and global fans, choose to travel across continents just to meet a television host? Is this simply a form of appreciation for a good relationship that has been established? Or is there a deeper intention that has not yet been disclosed to the public? Jin, as the oldest member of BTS and a figure known for having honest and blunt views about group dynamics, conveyed that Jungkook had planned the meeting long before his departure. He didn't want to make this look big, but I know for sure from the way he talked about Fallon that it was not an ordinary meeting, said Jin in a closed official statement that was leaked to several South Korean entertainment media outlets. Jin added that Jungkook showed unusual excitement when discussing the possibility of meeting Fallon again. This isn't just an interview or a TV appearance. There's an emotional bond he feels every time he appears with Jimmy, explained Jin. This has sparked speculation that Jungkook may feel more appreciated, more understood, or even more at home when interacting with a media figure like Fallon compared to the formal atmosphere of Korea's entertainment stage. The public has begun to question whether Jungkook's decision to go to the US received full approval from HYB, or whether this was a form of personal negotiation that took place outside the agency's framework. This news has become controversial in its own right because there was no official announcement regarding Jungkook's specific agenda in America. Many armies are wondering, why was there no public notice? Was something deliberately being hidden? Jin's own astonishment seems to reflect the surprise of many. He admitted that he was not directly informed by Jungkook about his main intention. I thought he was going to the US for studio work or secret projects, as usual. But it turns out, the main purpose of his trip was Jimmy, said Jin in a serious tone. This statement strengthens the assumption that there is a deep personal dynamic between Jungkook and the American media figure, and that this goes beyond the usual interaction between celebrities and television hosts. On the other hand, the fact that Jin chose to reveal this to the public signals that there is a mismatch, or at least a concern he feels. Some Korean pop culture analysts have begun to speculate that Jin may feel Jungkook's decision is too emotional, or even potentially damaging to a consistent public image, especially as issues related to privacy, security, and satiating tensions have flared up again. What exactly does Jungkook hope to achieve through this meeting? Is he preparing a transition into the global entertainment realms that is freer from the pressures of the K-pop industry? Is Jimmy Fallon merely a symbol of Jungkook's desire to gain recognition from the Western world personally rather than through group mechanisms? Another concern that arises is whether this move will create a gap in BTS's internal coordination. Considering that Jin, RM, and the other members are maintaining BTS's image stability amid mandatory military service and group hiatus, Jungkook's decision to stand out individually through a personal relationship outside the group's structure could trigger unwanted tension. Moreover, HYB has yet to issue an official statement regarding Jungkook's departure or comment on Jin's claims. Is Jungkook's move a legitimate form of self-expression as a mature artist? Or does it indicate an identity crisis following the group's activity break? This question now echoes among industry analysts, fans, and media. What is clear is that Jin's admission is a signal that BTS's internal dynamics are far more complex than they appear on the surface. When a member expresses shock over another member's personal decision, it's not just gossip, it's an alarm that the group's communication and collective direction may be experiencing distortion. Fans can now only wait for an official clarification from Jungkook or HYB. But until that moment arrives, one thing is certain. Jungkook's decision to fly to America to meet Jimmy Fallon has sparked a wave of speculation that cannot be taken lightly. This meeting is not just a personal matter, but has become a symbol of major changes taking place, both in the individual journey of a global idol and in the delicate balance that has so far supported BTS's collective image, the shocking statement made by Jin regarding Jungkook's personal reason for going to the United States continues to be a hot topic of discussion, even controversial, in various digital public spaces. Yet amidst the uproar of this news coverage, the important question we must ask is, does this information truly reflect reality? Or is it merely a narrative construction formed by a desire to attract media attention? Phenomena like this often arise amid the torrent of information from various platforms, ranging from TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, to online entertainment media that sometimes prioritize release speed over source validity. This raises a fundamental question we need to reflect on together. Are we, as viewers, still able to distinguish which information can be trusted and which is merely sensational seasoning? Did Jin really express his shock openly at Jungkook going to the US just to meet Jimmy Fallon? Or is this merely a narrative engineered from out-of-context speech fragments? Furthermore, if it is true, is this a form of internal honesty from a senior to the public, or merely a maneuver to create attention dynamics during the group's hiatus? We face a major challenge: how to ensure that this news is not just a disguised hoax modified to create a certain opinion. Does such news appear because of the need for quick celebrity information consumption, which ultimately sacrifices the integrity of the information itself? Some observers argue that there may be economic and exposure motives behind the disclosure of such information. When an artist as big as Jungkook is linked with a big name like Jimmy Fallon, public reaction is bound to be strong. In a climate where engagement is the primary currency, a narrative like this can be used as a tool to strengthen personal or collective positioning amid declining public spotlight due to temporary hiatus. However, we need to ask deeper. Who actually benefits from this news? Is it Jungkook himself? Is it the media? Is it the fans? Or perhaps this is part of a narrative systematically built by larger parties to manage public expectations toward the individual image of an idol outside their role as part of BTS. It is important to note that much of the information in this coverage comes from platforms that do not always prioritize verification. Video clips on TikTok, speculative comments on Twitter, interview snippets on YouTube, and articles developed from unofficial sources can easily ignite public speculation. Therefore, it is very important not to immediately believe every narrative that arises, especially if there is no direct official statement from Jungkook or his agency, HYB. We as consumers of information have a moral responsibility to preserve the integrity of public discourse. Are we willing to risk someone's credibility just based on a viral clip? Are we aware that every narrative we spread can influence the perception of millions of people? Are we critical enough to ask, am I being given facts, or am I being served entertainment packaged as news? Let us use this momentum to drive a smarter discussion. Shouldn't we be questioning why a figure like Jin suddenly leaked such deep information? Is there internal pressure, business motives, or even an attempt to divert issues from internal group dynamics? Or is this just a form of emotional spontaneity from Jin, who is tired of holding back his opinions on his fellow members' direction? Amid this confusion, it is important for us to maintain a healthy skepticism. Not all circulating information has a strong basis in truth. Even major media can get trapped in the cycle of clicks and algorithms. Thus, our duty is not just to be passive viewers, but to be part of a society that is aware, reflective, and actively asking, what is the motive behind this information? Who benefits? And am I willing to be part of spreading information that may not be true? Lastly, we want to remind all readers and fans that the information in this article comes from various sources that may not be fully verified. Some come from social media platforms that are very easily distorted. Therefore, we invite you all not to immediately believe every detail, but rather to use it as material for discussion and reflection. Do you believe that Jungkook truly went to America just to meet Jimmy Fallon? Or is this part of a well-planned exposure strategy? Did Jin really speak like that to open the public's eyes? Or is there a hidden motive behind his statement? Think again. Question it. And if necessary, Stay silent before joining in spreading information that may not have a foundation. Because in the age of information floods, the ability not to believe instantly is the highest form of public intelligence. Thank you.